It's a little bit of both. I mean, certainly the Marine Corps is steeped in tradition, and if you make a guess at what a Marine, if you meet, or if you had to guess what a Marine's going to be like, you're probably going to be pretty close. I mean, Marines have a incredible program to indoctrinate their people into the culture of the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps has an incredibly strong culture. It's a powerful culture. I love the Marine Corps. I've worked with the Marine Corps a ton, and they're outstanding. As a generality, certainly you could make those assumptions about the Marines in general. Now, does that mean that every Marine is the same? No, absolutely not. Same thing with the Army, same thing with the Air Force, same thing with the Navy. You've got these kind of stereotypes that exist for a reason. It's interesting too. It's one of my friends named Ben Milligan wrote an incredible book called By Water Beneath the Walls, which I've given him a huge hassle about because it's the worst title of all time. But it's certainly the best book written about the SEAL team's history and where the SEAL teams came from. And it's interesting. It's something that I had heard from a SEAL officer that had given a speech years ago at his change of command. And what he said was, hey, listen, he was trying to emphasize why the SEAL teams were good. And one of the things he said was, in the Army, and he was talking historically, he goes, hey, in the Army, if you start to lose a battle, you can just retreat and run away. In the Navy, traditionally, we're fighting on board a ship. And if we can't run away, we're fighting, and if we lose, we die. So SEALs can't quit. It was sort of this, little over the top expression. But when you take that a little bit further, when you look at the history of the Navy, if we were in the Navy 150 years ago, you would have to go on deployment. You would take your ship and you would sail somewhere, and you wouldn't be able to talk to me anymore. So you would have to understand what it is you were trying to accomplish and then just go out there and make it happen. That's decentralized command. And that's something that exists in the SEAL teams without question. Very decentralized command. And that's one of the absolute strengths of the SEAL teams is you've got leaders at every level inside the organization that if they don't know exactly, if they're not told what to do, they're going to go, okay, haven't been told what to do, but I'm going to go figure it out. And that's one of the strengths of the SEAL teams. We have more doctrine now, but when I came in the SEAL teams, there was no doctrine. It was all word of mouth. And so the Army and the Marine Corps, if you have to conduct an ambush, you can pull out a manual and you can look up how to conduct an ambush, platoon ambush, how to conduct it. And it's all written very clear, and they're great documents. That's the FM 7 TAC 8 infantry, platoon, and squad, I think is the Army doctrine.
I can see the little neurons in your hippocampus firing in sequence. Yeah. It's embedded in there forever.
And it's a great manual. And you can pull that thing out and you have a place to start from. In the SEAL teams, we didn't have that at all. So you would hear from your platoon chief, this is how you conduct an ambush. And he had heard it from his platoon chief, who heard it from his platoon chief, who heard it from his platoon chief, and that platoon chief was in Vietnam. So it's getting passed down, but you can make adjustments to it. And you can alter the plan a little bit because, hey, the terrain is different, or hey, the night vision we now have. So there's changes that we can make because there's no doctrine. So not having any doctrine in many ways is a strength. Also, it can be a weakness because if you've got a new platoon commander that's never done an ambush before and he has no idea what he's doing, and his platoon chief has been out of the loop for a long time and he doesn't know what he's doing, there's no reference. So there's strengths and weaknesses, just like any characteristic, right? Everybody's characteristic. You've got strength and you've got weaknesses, and your weaknesses can be strength and your strength can be weaknesses. To get back to your original question, are there stereotypes inside of each of the military branches? Sure. But are there outliers in each of the military branches? There are, absolutely. And that's why you can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah. Waking up early, and I'm going to work out, and depending on what's going on that day, if I have an early flight, I might work out for 8 minutes, right? I might go in and do 2,000 meters on the rower, get a sweat going hard as I can, and then I'm done. And because I got to go catch a flight. So that could be happening. Maybe I'm supposed to go surfing in the morning. I wake up, the waves are terrible. And so now I've got nothing to do. I planned out, to be surfing for 2 or 3 hours. And now I'm not going to go surfing. So I'm going to go lift, and I'm going to go play in the gym and do a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to spend 2 or 3 hours in there. I love doing that. So the workout could be anywhere between, what I just say, 8 minutes and 3 hours. And it could be anything in between. I fully enjoy the physical aspect of working out. So if I have more time to spend in the gym, I'll spend it. I remember my dad saying at one point, if I retired, I wouldn't know what to do. And I was thinking to myself, are you serious right now? You know, if I didn't have anything to do, I'd spend 6 hours a day in the gym. I'd spend 4 hours doing jujitsu. Like I could fill my day. I could fill every day with just physical activity, things that I just like doing. So wake up early, get a sweat going. And do I lift? Yes. Do I do cardio? Yes. Do I run? Yes. Do I sprint? Yes. Do I lift heavy weights? Yes. Do I swing kettlebells? Yes. I do everything and anything, and I enjoy all of it. And I'm not really good at any of it. You know, I'm not really good at any one aspect of physical activity. There's people that are infinitely better at me in every aspect of, and I'm not just talking about, oh, this guy's a world-class lift. No, there's like a guy named Fred down at the gym that can deadlift more than me. There was a guy, when I was at SEAL Team 2, there was a guy who was probably 5'7", and he looked kind of chubby, and he was older than me, and he could run faster than me, and he could bench more than me.
Those guys that were out there.
It was just so bothersome. I would say it's both, right? There's no way I can sit here and say, oh yeah, every day that alarm clock goes off and I'm like, oh yeah, let's rock and roll. Certainly that's not the case. It's also certainly not the case that every day I'm like, oh God, not again. No, I'd say most of the time the alarm clock goes off and I don't think a bunch. Like when my alarm clock goes off, I don't think a bunch. I don't debate with myself. I'm not negotiating. I just, the thing goes off and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Sort of robotic. Now, this much I can say. When you go and work out, you're going to feel better. You will get energy from working out. That is a guarantee. If you go work out, you're going to feel better. If you go break a sweat, you're going to feel better. You're going to get more energy from it. And look, you got to go really, really hard to where now you feel more tired when you're done. And even that, I mean, you got to go psycho. I'll do that occasionally, but I don't do that on a daily basis. You know, at the end of a day, if I wake up, lift, run, surf, and then I do jujitsu in the afternoon, like at the end of that day, I'm tired and I feel tired. But normal day, working out just makes you feel better. It definitely gives me energy, I should say, because I guess I'm not everybody.